Bernard returned home from the farm that evening with a heavy heart. Earlier that day, he had gone to end things with the woman he had been seeing before his marriage. He had meant to be firm, to walk away for good, but her tears had undone him. Instead of ending it cleanly, he found himself comforting her, lingering longer than he should have. He wanted out of that relationship. Though he had not consummated his marriage with Adora, he still respected it. He respected her. When he arrived home, he left a basket of fruit outside Adora's door. To his surprise, she never opened it. Adora spent the night locked in her room, silent and distant. Bernard assumed she was still upset because he had refused her offer to accompany him to the farm that morning. He couldn't allow her to find out about Monica. Never that. The next day, Adora did not leave her room. She did not eat. She sat curled on her bed, tears soaking into her sleeves. Deep down, she knew the marriage had been nothing more than an agreement, a bargain sealed by necessity. Yet the pain in her chest confused her. Why did it hurt this much? The gods had not restored her beauty, even after she married. And in this condition, who could ever truly love her? Bernard's mother came knocking, her patience already worn thin. "Adora, open this door now," her mother-in-law shouted. When there was no response, her voice grew sharper. "If you don't come out, I will break this door down. I don't know what dark magic you are using on my son, but he no longer eats." At that, Adora rushed to the door and opened it. "Why is Bernard not eating?" she asked softly, genuine concern in her voice. "Is he sick?" Her mother-in-law scoffed and pointed at the pile of Bernard's clothes waiting to be washed. "Don't pretend to be foolish. Bernard only eats what you cook. Since you don't cook, he doesn't eat. The men in this house eat only from their wives' hands." With that, she turned and walked away. Adora gathered the clothes and carried them to the stream. As she knelt to wash them, the women nearby stared at her with open disgust. "A man like Bernard doesn't belong with something like you," one woman spat. "You disgust me." Adora said nothing. She kept scrubbing. "Bernard will only ever love me." Adora looked up. Standing before her was the same woman Bernard had once met in secret. The woman was beautiful, her skin flawless, her scent rich with roses. A sharp pain pierced Adora's chest. Adora stood lifting the basket of wet clothes. "You may be fighting the wrong person," she said quietly. "You already have my husband's heart. I am only the one who cleans after him." The woman laughed, but the sound died too quickly. Silence fell. Adora turned and found Bernard standing behind her, his face dark with fury. He grabbed the basket and seized Adora's arm, pulling her away. She struggled and tore herself free. "Adora," he demanded, hurt flashing in his eyes, "why would you say that about me?" "It is the truth," she replied. "You and that woman are lovers, and it's fine. I know why you married me." He stepped closer, wounded. "Then tell me, why do you think I married you?" "For the land," she said, turning away. "For the farm." "The land," he said slowly, "is where I started building you a house. Yes, my family needed the money, but you are my wife, Adora." She looked up at him. "Then what is she?" "She is my past," he answered. "And it is over." Adora lowered her gaze. "I know I do not look the way you wished I did. I know I smell. I can barely live with myself, so I do not expect you to either." She walked back to her room and closed the door behind her. Bernard followed and stood in the middle of the room, the air heavy between them. "I'm sorry, Adora," he said quietly. "I never meant to hurt you." She sat on the bed in silence. Bernard reached into his pocket, pulled out an apple and placed it gently on the table before leaving. "Tomorrow," he said, pausing at the door, "I'll take you to the village healer. Maybe there is a solution." That night, Bernard drank, troubled by her words, unable to sleep. Adora lay awake, confused by his concern, by the anger he had shown on her behalf. He had never shouted at her, never insulted her. He was a gentleman, always. She ate the apple, folded the clothes, and finally rose. Despite the late hour, she carried the clean garments to Bernard's room. She knocked. He opened the door. Adora stepped inside and placed his clothes on the bed. In his drunken state, Bernard pulled her closer, and that night something changed between Bernard and Adora.